Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you may be, or good evening or good night. This is Jen at JensArtyInclinations, a place to create, share and play.
Hello everyone, I'm here setting up a swatch book at the moment. Came up with the idea to use a sketchbook, and this is actually one with multimedia pages in it, from my little local store up the road. I finally discovered there's a wonderful papercraft shop around the corner from me. It's been there for 20 years. I only just found it. Isn't that funny? Anyhow, what I'm doing here is I was numbering each of the pages because then I can put a contents page in, which is what this is right here. So I've just done a little border, and now I'm putting in, well, the numbers for a contents page. And since the lines were so close for this particular little stamp, I decided that I'd do every second one once I started. And so then I'm pasting both of those in the front, and then I can list anything that I put in for swatches, I can put on those pages. So just sticking them down. Anyway, yeah, it was a wonderful idea. So they've got some mixed media classes coming up to, work out how to use all those white pots with black lids that we all end up with. And, that'll be a lot of fun. So they've done moulding paste and things like that so far. I just bought some waxes. So I decided that I'd do my first page with just a few swatches of the waxes that I've got so far. And I did happen to go up and buy another 2 that I can add today. But, I'll do that later. So I'm not sure if they're doing a contents page, but I just found that that was a much easier way for me, just like a bullet journal or, any kind of a diary or reference book page, and then it will be more useful for me over time. So I picked up just these Art Alchemy waxes from them, and I loved that because I could actually see the colours. And all I've done is I've just smooshed a bit onto some, leftover book pages so that I can see the colour, and I'm just making notes, so on the brand and so forth. Now, later on, I might make some notes on how I apply them, or, how you can maybe colour them differently or mix them differently, or, other sorts of things. But, just a bit of a doodle border around, I can just add to that over time. I'll probably leave the next page blank, and then we can go through. So lovely way, I thought, to actually keep everything together. I often have swatches that I put with my materials, but sometimes it's just nice to look through a book. Plus, looking at the different techniques, it reminds you, I think, of the different things that you'll actually be doing, or that are possible, or you might think, oh, how did I get that technique again? So this is something that I can go back to. So that's my intention anyway. Now, funnily enough, I just did a really basic wash over this, and I put some salt over it because, I wanted a salt to soak it up and give it that effect. And of course, you know what? I didn't put anywhere near enough salt, and it wasn't anywhere near wet enough for it to actually work properly. But that's all right. I still splattered, so that worked. And I thought, well, I better do a title page. So that's what I'm actually doing here. And I'm calling it my swatch book, even though it's kind of techniques, but it's swatches of techniques. So, anyway, this will build over time. So you'll get to see a few different bits and pieces going in here. And there you go. That's my little title page, a bit of, leftover ribbon from somewhere, just a handwritten title, and that's enough. It'll be easy for me to recognise and to know that that's where I keep all of those. My lights keep going out. Sorry about that. Very annoying. Even more annoying when you've got your fingers all sticky partway through work, and so you can't plug it in and stuff. But yeah, so sometimes it goes a little bit dark. Sorry about that. And then other times it'll come back for you. So there you are, just putting my little label onto a border and then onto a bit of fabric. Now, see, I didn't really get much of an effect from the salt that I put on. So I should have had more colour, more wet, more salt. And what I actually did, I found that the little title plate that I did was a little bit close to the background, so I just popped these darker colours behind it, and then that way I could just pick it up. And I actually ran, even though you saw me glue those pieces all together for the little title plaque that I was going to put in, I actually ended up just running it all through the sewing machine and doing it all higgledy-piggledy and crissy-crossy and so forth. So it's all very, very, what do we call it? Rustic. See? Not messy, not disorganised. It's rustic. So anyway, I just thought I'd share with you my little process and what I'm putting together, and we may have a little look at this book over time and see things as they build. So the glue that I'm using just to put this in, because I really wanted to make sure that all that stitching didn't avoid it getting stuck down properly. So I'm just using a fabric glue. It's a white fabric glue, which I really like, and that actually holds these in quite well indeed. Hope you enjoyed having a little play. You might go away and do your own swatch book. But yeah, I was impressed with myself that I thought to number the pages and to put in a contents so that I can look up anything I need at any point and I can go straight to the page and see the results or see the colours. And of course, knowing me, the trick is going to be to remember that I've got it. So to actually use it. Because what I often do is I start an ideas book or a reference book or something like this, a swatch book, and then I get distracted by shiny things, or I like something that I've done into it and it turns into one of my junk journals, or it turns into something else, or I forget where it is and I never go back to it. And yeah, I end up with 14 half-started things that probably are pretty useless. So yeah, we'll see how well I actually manage to go back to this. So there you are, little title page. And that was just putting together some scraps. The actual contents page. So that's a number for each page. And there's my first swatch page. So yeah, hopefully this will be filled up beautifully over time.
I'd love it if you could leave me a comment below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed what you saw today. And of course, please subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you next time. And in the meantime, keep creating. Enjoy!